Everybody get on the fucking hype train, baby. We are going all the way. Choo, 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 motherfucker. Ryan,
Dude,
starting to believe.
I,
Starting to believe.
I'm starting to believe too. I really am. And it's crazy. It really is. What it thought was like a Hail Mary toss at the summer break seems like it's really going to happen now with Max potentially winning this championship.
I think it's really funny, Ryan, because like a couple weeks ago, where we got back from the summer break, and Max started having a little bit of resurgence, winning in Italy, and it was like, can he win this? It's like, well, a couple miracles are going to need to happen for this to happen, Ryan. And
Mm-hmm.
I'd say like three miracles needed to happen for this. He's gotten two of them. I feel like he's gotten two miracles out of the way. One was Oscar DNFing in Baku and him getting the race win. Another one is him winning that sprint race on Saturday and then getting the maximum points on Sunday.
Yeah.
It is insane on how much Max has climbed up these past couple weekends.
It is. It's absolutely crazy, and I just want to talk about the sprint race real fast with the start of it and turn one. Man, I screamed. It was like the Frank Sinatra "My Way" song for me in that moment because just them colliding, Oscar and Lando colliding into each other through just a racing incident in general, and I love how Zach tried to blame it on Nico and Fernando.
I know.
I think they all had a right to that corner at that point. So fuck Zach for what he said. But yeah, just right off
I
the
love that
rip.
they had to call Zach right after it happened because Zach is the only person taking calls from Sky Sports right now. So the
Yep.
collision happens between Lando and Oscar 2 laps later. Like, well, let's give Zach a call, see what he has to say.
Yep.
Yeah, I think let's talk about that incident a little. Let's start talking about the sprint race a bit, uh, because that incident, I think if it's anybody's fault, I think it's Oscar Piastri's fault. I think it's a racing incident. I think it's four people going into one corner kind of a thing. But
Yeah,
if it's anybody, I think it's Oscar's.
I do too because he cut back in, and he should have known that there was going to be one or more cars
Yeah,
right there next to him
yeah.
too. So I know he tried to thread the gap, and universe out there where he makes that beautifully, and the race continues on just fine. We're not in that universe, and he crashed into his teammate, and that was so fucking hilarious, man.
Well, Ryan, I think we're finally getting to that spice that you've been wanting all season long,
Yes.
because now we're into the nitty gritty, and the chips are on the line.
Mm-hmm.
We only have this was at the time only 6 races left. Does Oscar make that move at the beginning of the season? And I think because I think Oscar is like, I need to beat Lando, and I need to show him who's boss. And so they both went deep and far and hard. And then Oscar
Very
decides,
hard.
yeah, Oscar's like, I'm gonna do the switchback. I hope I turn now. Good luck, everybody. Like,
Yes.
it's turn one on Texas. There's
Mm-hmm.
17 other cars coming up behind you. Of course, somebody's gonna be right there. And I saw a meme where Nico Hulkenberg's like, "That's for not congratulating me on the podium."
Yes, dude, that was hilarious.
I think I think though, Ryan, it's spelling a good taste for what's coming to the end of the season. Is Oscar and Lando worried about each other? And choo 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 choo, Max keeps sticking his nose in front of them.
Dude, yeah, it is crazy now because there's so many different variables. Because, like you said, Oscar probably came into this weekend thinking, I really got to have some gusto and really do
Yeah.
something. Crashes into his teammate in the sprint race. And then doesn't really do anything during the actual race today. It was kind of bad for him.
Yes.
So he hasn't, I don't think he's won a race since the Dutch Grand Prix. It's been a minute for Oscar, and his
You're
lead
right.
is just getting slowly chipped away by Lando and especially Max now.
I think the announcer said it, Ryan, that Lando is now trailing Oscar by 18 points ish,
Mm-hmm.
and Lando lost out on 18 points with his DNF at the Dutch Grand Prix. So if that wasn't happening, they'd be neck and neck. And that move during the sprint race. Excuse me. Sorry, don't drink, kids. It makes you a little gassy.
Never
That
drank.
move though actually really did fuck him over for the race, Ryan, because every other team got 19 laps of race pace data that they could
Mm-hmm.
then apply to the next race. Max was really had a back end troubles with George Russell. They decided to make that change, McLarens were the only cars, and whoever else DNF'd that Stroll, whoever else DNF'd in that
Fernando
race.
too. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Martin in general.
But they just didn't have the data that everybody else had because they only have one practice session, then they go into qualifying, then they go to sprint race. And like most of the time, the sprint races don't mean much. And this was all for 1 point. Oscar getting third to second or from third to first. That's only a 1 to 2 point swing for Oscar. And it's
Yeah.
really costed him and the McLaren team. Because I will say, Ryan, it's really funny that we are coming up this entire weekend at Texas. McLaren just won their Constructors' Championship, right? And the weekend kicked off with, what are the repercussions that Lando said is happening because of their kerfuffle in Singapore? Nobody's talking about the championship. Nobody's talking about the Constructors' Championship after this weekend as well. It's all Drivers' Champion.
Yep. And what we've said all season, Sam, as soon as the Constructors has decided, it's like, okay, in my brain, out the next day. Like, who cares? All we care about is the Drivers' Championship. And what is happening now with Max throwing a wrench into Zach's master plan is really fucking them up. Because, like, at this point, what does McLaren do now in the final 5 races left of the season? Because Lando, rightfully so, is now on the charge, but Oscar is the leader in the championship. What decision do you make now in this situation?
It's that's the perfect question, Ryan, because I think if they don't prioritize a driver, there's a very good chance that they lose out to Max.
Oh, I 100% think that.
Well, then who do you prioritize? Do you prioritize the championship leader? Do you prioritize the person that's hot? You know, I think if Lando was leading the championship, I think the decision would be a lot easier for them.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. For
But
sure.
not.
And here's the crazy part too is when we last talked about this, is after it was Singapore. Yeah, Singapore. After that race, if you told me then like the situation that we have now, I would have been like just put the priority towards Oscar. But now Oscar is really not having a good time out there, especially this weekend. I know it's just one race weekend, but like I said, we just figured out he hasn't won since the Dutch Grand Prix. There's an issue with him right now. So I even if I'm Zach, I don't know what to do in this situation. I really don't.
This is what I said. I wrote it down in my notes. I'm not sure what podcast we talked about it on, Ryan, but I said, you know, McLaren is really lucky. Maybe in Monza, maybe Baku. I said McLaren is really lucky to not have competition.
Yep.
It's allowing them to get away with papaya rules. It's allowed them to get away with shenanigans because they have the best car on track and they're able to do whatever the fuck they want. Well, guess what? They don't have the best car on track anymore. And I don't think, I could be wrong on this, grain of salt. I don't think they're bringing any more upgrades to the rest of the season. Everybody else is bringing a little bit of upgrades. Why would you, right?
Yeah.
And so I think actually makes a really interesting prospect of the McLaren drivers. I feel like they've been held back, not able to compete to their fullest abilities because for the team, right? But as soon as the team gets the Constructors' Championship, it's like, well, we no longer have the tools for you to win the championship kind of a thing. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But like, we're not giving you the full tool set now. So it's, you know, from the driver's perspective, I think it's kind of really biting the drivers in the ass for not taking every opportunity they could.
Yeah.
Oscar, you know? And dude, I'm telling you. Max today because I'm basing a lot of this on Oscar being the point leader.
Mm-hmm.
So Max has closed up 23 points on Oscar this weekend.
Dude,
8
that's
on the
crazy.
8 during the race, sprint race, 15 in the race.
Mm-hmm.
That's a race. That's basically a race win DNF. And Max needs about 3 of those to win this Constructors' Championship.
Yeah.
He got one in Baku. He got another one this weekend. And now he's on the charge. He's on the charge. Let me pull up that stat. I have it written down in our notes.
And I just love it in the post interview. Yeah, you did. But in the post interviews, Brundle asked him, he's like, how do you feel about the championship? And like, he's keeping it still cool and collected. He's just like, we'll see what happens. But I see the smile on his face just getting wider and wider after every race, man, because he knows. He knows.
Well, here, let's get the stats to our fans at home. In the last 4 races and 1 sprint, Max has closed up 64 points on the championship.
In the
And
last 4 races?
he was down in the last 4 races, including Texas.
Crazy.
So that's, yes. He closed up 64 points. There's 5 races and 2 sprints left. He's only 40 points behind Oscar Piastri.
That man is going to do it. That man is going to do it, man.
He needs to not have any engine gremlins. He needs to not have any pit stop fuck ups or any collisions. That is kind of a big ask. But you know what? That those same 3 rules apply to Oscar and Lando. So it's kind of even field.
It's going to come down to the wire. It really is. I think it's going to be decided on the final race.
You know, and I think, Ryan, if he gets into a crash in Mexico or Qatar or Brazil, I think that's okay for Max's psyche. Because I think the way Max, I think he'll be hot in the moment. But I think he'll be like, meh, it wasn't in the cards. It was too big of a deficit. There's nothing I could have done. I had to be absolutely perfect for the rest of the season, and it didn't work out. That's racing. Whereas Oscar and Lando don't have that same mentality kind of a thing, or can't afford to have that same mentality. If they wreck, it's over. It's over. That's their first chance, maybe their only chance at a driver's championship. So I think Max really has a huge benefit of being an experienced champion and also just having this mindset of like, well, this is how the season played out. It's kind of funny that the prediction I gave you at the beginning of the season that I think Oscar and Lando are going to take little bites out of each other and Max is going to work his way through. It might very much come true at the end.
Yeah, it really is.
To be honest, to talk about that, Max got pole without setting his final lap time in qualified. And still
that's
cleared
crazy.
Lando by 0.2. Like he's on a heater.
I sent you that graphic. I forget if it was on Twitter or where, but it shows like the visualization of the gap on track for everyone in like the top 5, and it is crazy what he's able to do right now. Also, just impressed that Ferrari's actually kind of keeping up a decent fight right now with McLaren. Not that much, but I mean they're more competitive than what they were earlier in the season, and I'll take that right now.
I don't think I've ever rooted for Ferrari so hard in my life today.
Welcome to the Tifosi, buddy.
And then I was almost really let down, and I can't wait to get into it. My hands literally hurt because I clapped so fucking hard when Piastri hit Lando. And when I saw at the beginning of this race Leclerc go all the way to the right, I was like, oh,
dude, it was such a beautiful move.
I saw it, dude. I was like, oh my God. And he's been, I'm like, don't hit Max and just, and he got Lando, and man, that almost got him P2. It really did.
For once in my life, Sam, I will actually say I was very happy with the strategy that Ferrari had today. Whenever I saw the starting grid and I saw Charles was the only one on the softs, I was like, fuck it, let's just see what happens. And turn 1, look at the move he did, and look how long he kept the fight before the pits happened. That with Lando, that was great racing. That was great racing the entire time between him and Lando.
Yes. I wrote down like he was schooling Lando. It took Lando 21 laps to pass Leclerc. He had like shitty ass soft tires for majority of it. And then Leclerc made Oscar almost get a time penalty. He went off the track 3 times in the first 21 laps. I honestly wish Leclerc was just maybe 10% more aggressive. And at the end of the race, when Leclerc was on his mediums, Oscar's on his softs, and Oscar's went on that charge, I wanted Leclerc to take him deep and like to really lunge on him, kind of a thing.
You mean Lando?
Yeah, Leclerc on Lando.
Yeah,
Leclerc.
okay.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah,
I wish Leclerc would have pushed on it because I think one of 2 things would have happened. Lando can't afford a DNF.
Yes.
He can't. So I think Lando would have avoided any kind of collision with Leclerc, and then Lando would have gotten a penalty for track limitations. Like I think there was a play there. I don't think maybe Leclerc is not that ruthless, but I think there was a play there.
Oh, I think so too. I was honestly hoping, like you were too, that he was going to make a little push at the end because obviously Leclerc had the better tire at that point in the race. I thought he was saving it for that final push, but he just decided not to.
Well, and then once Lando got by, he had like 2 seconds on him, so it was Lando just had the pace.
Yeah,
but I was hoping, man.
But either way, I am very happy with the performance of Ferrari this weekend. I know it means jack shit in the grand scheme of things for this season, but it is nice to just see something decently okay to come from them. First time in a while. This is the first time in 5 races we have a Ferrari on the podium, so very happy about that. So I think there's a good little momentum swing for them finally. Hopefully they can
Well,
continue it.
I do think they do have something on the line. They are only 8 points away from P2 and the Constructors Champion. And the way it's been playing out, if they can keep this kind of form, their top two drivers being in the top five,
Mm-hmm.
they very much well could do it because Kimi isn't providing the points for Mercedes and Yuki isn't providing the points for Red Bull.
Yeah.
So it's Hamilton and Leclerc versus uh, George and Max. And so it's a very, we're going to get into it in your point system, but it's 341 for Mercedes, 334 for Ferrari, 331 for Red Bull. Like it's actually really close for
Yeah.
that Ferrari doesn't need it, but
Yeah, Ferrari doesn't need it. They also get that what is that, the legacy money too.
like, yes,
They really don't need it, but hey, I'll take the bragging rights of being second best,
be a
right?
little bit closer in the pit lane.
Yep.
I will say, Ryan, I about screamed because I was with you. I was like, man, Ferrari's on top of things today.
Mm-hmm.
And when Lando went through and Lewis was coming up quick on mediums on Leclerc, I was like, oh shit, Leclerc's going to let Lewis pass to chase down Lando right away. That's smart. And Leclerc said, hold my beer. I am going to show you who's top dog here, Lewis Hamilton. And they almost collided. I'm like, yeah, I swear to God, if you guys
Dude.
collide, I literally, because I really need Piastri to be below both of them.
Oh, same.
And I was like, in true for, I saw it happen in my mind's eye. I was like, true Ferrari fashion,
When
they're going to come together.
when that happened, Sam, literally whenever Charles was just like whipping out his dick and being like, I'm gonna show you who's boss here, Lewis. In my mind, I want you to envision the meme of the dog with his eyes closed with that one audio that was me. That was me. I was just accepting a double DNF for Ferrari in that moment. I was like, this is gonna happen and we're just gonna deal with it. And thank God it didn't. But that was, I don't know. I think it was dumb for Charles to do that, but also it worked out in his favor, I guess.
It worked out okay. Good thing they didn't crash. I tell you what,
If they crashed, it would have been so bad.
dude,
So
Ferrari
bad.
got on the radio like, pit, come in the pit,
Yep.
Leclerc, come in.
Get your ass in the pit now, Leclerc.
And then they almost bottled it at the end because Lewis had a puncture.
Dude, oh my God. That reminded me of the British Grand Prix for him when he lost his front tire.
Yeah.
And yeah, Oscar, I saw the race ended and we were watching it from Oscar's point of view. He was right on his ass, man. Like 1.1, I think, was the gap by the end of the race, and that scared the shit out of me. But thank God Lewis was able to hold him off.
Dude, they had it. Honestly, Ryan, I'm jumping around topics here a little bit, but
okay.
the fact that the Ferraris did better than Piastri, this is actually really much a dream scenario for the drivers' championship for a max possible championship win. For Piastri to be behind both Ferraris and to Lando to close that gap on Oscar. Like he's only 18 points behind him now. Like he's right there. It puts pressure on everybody. And now that the Ferraris are a factor. Oh, dude, I'm hoping there's continue to be a factor in the future. I was actually hoping a little bit more from George. I really was. He just didn't have it.
I really do hope that this chaos continues for the next 5 races because I feel like we really didn't get enough of it throughout the first 2/3 of the season. And we just, since the summer break, I think we have finally gotten there. And it is, I think we talked about it earlier, but it is finally starting to heat up between the McLaren drivers. And then there's other factors now. Ferrari just decided to be a racing team again. Max is just doing Max things again. Red Bull's car is somehow good again. There's a lot of crazy factors. You have the sneaky wins from George every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
So it is bringing a little bit of spice and a little bit of chaos. I just hope for the final 5 races that continues. I want excitement. I want entertainment. I want a thrilling end to the season.
I agree. I want to talk a little bit about McLaren and their strategy. Specifically, Ryan, their pit stop strategy. I don't know about you, but I am tired of their dummy bluff calls.
Yep.
Of the pit to overtake when everybody knows that, because the idea is like, oh, let's convince Leclerc that we're going to come into the pit now, so he's going to pit before us. But there's not a gap for them to slot into after the pit. They've done this twice in a row now. They're making dummy calls, but they can't get their pit stop strategy working because the guy in the front right or the front left can't get his fucking wheel gun working.
That's happened like 4 or 5 times now this season. It's
happened
crazy.
ever since Italy. They've had a fuck up every single race since Italy.
They need to go into the film room with those guys and be like, this is how you are fucking up right now. And I need you to figure your shit out, my guy.
Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, because if McLaren doesn't win this Drivers' Championship, it'll be a big fumble by them.
No, it will be. It will be one of the biggest fumbles, I think, in the history of the sport, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, to be that, to have such a dominant car on the same level as the 2023 Red Bull car, and to not secure a driver's champion with that car would be insanely embarrassing. It would be so embarrassing for them.
Yeah. I mean, like, we already talked about it, but, like, this whole weekend, it started off with nobody talking about the McLaren Constructors Championship. Everybody was talking about the crash gate of Singapore, the tapping of the two drivers. Nobody's talking about their constructors win. Now everybody's talking about, can Max win this championship when Lando is 18 points away from Oscar? Nobody's talking about Lando winning this championship. They're all talking about Max. Fucking Crofty called him the T-Rex from Jurassic Park.
Yeah. I saw a meme. I forget which account did it, but they like photoshopped the T-Rex from Jurassic Park, and they did Sid the Sloth, and they had the Max hat on. Oh, it killed me, man. It was too fucking funny. But dude, he is a fucking demon of a man that's going to pull off this insane comeback. At this point, I really am convinced. And we talked about it last episode about counting out the races and which ones he will win. We got one right already. Yep. Let's see how many more we get right.
Yep. Nobody expected Sneaky Link George Russell to get Singapore. I really do think Max has Mexico in the bag. And I think he's got...
Is that the next one?
Next week. Yep.
Next week? Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah. The Red Bulls, like, before they were even dominant, the Red Bull and Max was just really good at Mexico overall. So let's see what they can do this year. I think he's got Brazil. I'm hoping for a good rainy Brazil. Dude, I could honestly see, I'm like, is it too early to look at the weather forecast for Brazil? Because
yeah, probably a little too early.
You know, because I could see another Brazilian masterclass. If the same conditions happen this year at Brazil, I honestly could see that's where the pendulum swings hugely in a certain somebody's favor.
Yeah.
You know, I'm telling
Lando's going to show off and secure the championship there, Sam. That's what you're trying to say. I know.
That's what I'm trying to say. I'll tell you what, Ryan, I know that this championship is heating up because I'm getting nervous.
Oh yeah, how are your nerves right now? I want to know. Channel into your feelings and tell me how you feel.
Yeah, so ever since Italy, I was like, oh, it's nice. Max got a win here and there. I like to see my boy win. Because I think, like everybody else, was like, oh, hey, Max won Italy. And then Piastri crashed in Baku. It was like, oh, well, okay, Max won in Baku. Can he win the championship? Well, he's going to need to beat the McLarens in Singapore. He beat McLarens in Singapore. Holy shit. I'll tell you, the moment the McLarens crashed together in sprint in Texas was the moment I was like, oh, motherfucker. That's an easy 8 points. To me, that was a race win over second place. That's, a 7 to 8 point swing. That's an easy 8 points in the bag. He looks strong. And then when I sent you the graphic of how many points he's won in the last 3 races, and we only have 5 left to go, that's when I knew. I was like, oh, he's on a heater.
That's when you get your dick hard.
Dude, yes. And like, the thing is, Ryan, is like, we've seen it happen. Max is one of the most mistake-free people to be there. He won 9 races in a row. Or 10. He has the record for that. He can be consistent. So if there was somebody to do this, it would be him. And so, like, to me, and then for him to kill both sprint pole and regular qualifying pole without even setting his second lap time in Q3, he cleared it by 0.2 on his first run. That's a certain amount of dominance, and like, he's liking the car. And I think now that there's a very I think he's in striking distance. It makes me nervous, and it makes me actually literally anxious to watch these races because beforehand, when he had no shot in the world, I'm like, okay, let's just see what happens. I would love to shit on McLaren this week. What can I talk about? But now I have to literally like hand wring and hope that Max doesn't fuck up. And like, because usually, like specifically today, I watched the race a couple hours behind everybody else, and I'm like, Max crashed lap two, didn't he? Nobody's telling me. I'm telling you, he's out, man. And so, like, I'm a nervous Nelly when this comes down to it. And the closer and closer we get, the more and
You need
more
to
I'm
do a
just
blood
like,
sacrifice. That's what you need to do.
I'm over here doing the
Oh yeah. Ba, 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 ba.
that's what I'm doing every weekend with Max.
Max is coming out of the fire too. That's him. Oh my
Exactly.
god, dude.
Exactly, dude.
It's so funny. It really is. Because, like, I think, too, like, earlier in the season, you know, I was with you. I was like, oh, Max got a win. That's refreshing to see. It's been a minute since we've seen him win a race.
Refreshing.
Yeah. And now we're just like, oh, God, Max is about to do his thing. He's about to secure it. He's about to get his fifth. And, dude, like, still, like, part of me is just still like, I would love to see someone else win it. I really would. I would love for Oscar to just take it by the balls and just fucking do it. But if Max does it, man, God, it's going to be hilarious and incredibly awesome to see this type of comeback. It really is. Unfortunately, and I hate to say that I do, but fuck, man, he makes it hard to hate him anymore.
I know. Who would have thought 2 years from now you'd be like, you're going to root for Max Verstappen to win this championship in 2025?
I would have told
no
you
way.
you're fucking crazy.
Well, I think he is adding a certain level of spice to the championship because I think you're right. Oscar needs to take the competition by the horns and assert himself. And you know what? If he does, that's going to help solidify his champ. We talked about last week or the week before that like whoever wins this championship kind of feels meh because it's been so curated, it's been so gloves off kind of a thing. But if there's an actual threat from Max and there's an actual threat from your teammate, from either Oscar or Orlando, and you go in and you say, you know what, fuck it, I need to lock the fuck in the next 5 races, I'm fighting with my entire goddamn Uzi, and I win, you'll go down remembered as the person who manned up
And close it out.
and closed out. You closed the deal. Coffee's for closers.
That's the thing that I'm kind of starting to question because this entire season, Sam, I have been ranting and raving about how Oscar is cold, meticulous, Iceman, like very strategic and surgical in some aspects, right? But I think the pressure has finally gotten to him a little bit. I think this race really showed that. Now I'm wondering if he still is just too young to do it. Because it'd be crazy. For him to be in his 3rd season to be a champion would also be crazy.
Yes.
So I know what was it? Did Lewis get his first championship in his 2nd or 3rd season?
I think his 3rd season, or maybe his 2nd, he was very, very close to getting it in his 1st one.
He was. And that's also just attributed to him being a GOAT and just a different animal too. But I wonder if Oscar is just even capable right now to handle the pressure that he has on him right now, being this young in his career. I know other people have done it, so it can be done. I'm starting to question if Oscar is able, if he is that guy. I hope he is, but after this race, I'm not so convinced.
It'll be really interesting. For the record, it was Lewis's 2nd season that he won his first championship. He was very close in the first one.
Yes, I remember that.
I think 2007 is where Kimi Räikkönen won the championship because Fernando and Lewis were like battling out, taking points off of each other, and a sneaky Ferrari got the dub. Kimi Räikkönen, that seems what it's like happening now. I think specifically what happened this weekend with Oscar is that I think he's still very much struggling with tire management. This was a hot race. The McLarens used to be really good with their tires. Doesn't seem so anymore.
Yeah.
And then also, maybe, because this was kind of a Mercedes problem back in the day too, their car was so good when they were in front and nobody else in front of them. And they had clean air and they could just do whatever the fuck they wanted to do. But you put them behind a car and they get dirty air and it really fucks with their tires. It happened to both of them. It happened to Oscar more. But as you said, it's his third season. The excuses are starting to run out. I'm very curious to see, because I agree with you. I feel like the heat, especially with Oscar fucking up in Baku, not being as well in Singapore, and then again in Texas, it seems like pendulum is leaning towards Lando. Like Lando's a little hot right now. I'm very curious
Some
to see
team
how that
factors helped him out there. Let's also throw that in there.
Yes. But who knows what these next couple races will bring? Maybe there's a couple. I think Qatar, Oscar won his first sprint race there before Lando got his own race win. So there's a possibility that he favors that track. It's actually very interesting of who is going to be good in these next couple of races and who's going to be hot, who's going to be on the heater. Whereas like Max never takes a day off. So,
Yeah,
what
he's
do you
probably
do?
already practicing for a 24-hour race right now.
The point system on the real world is really heating up. We already kind of delved into the Constructors Championship. It's real tight with P2. The number one is wrapped up. Drivers Championship, we've gone ad nauseum of where we've gone. But what's going on in Ryan's point system? Ryan, take it away.
You are going to love the point system this week, Sam.
Oh, yes, please.
Yes. Prepare to be amazed. All right. Can you see it?
Yes.
All right. We're going to go for the drivers first. Your boy Max has moved into P2, Sam.
Woo!
So, yeah, Oscar remains in sole position at first place with 363. Max moved up to P2 with 348. Lando dropped one position to 346. This weekend was huge for Max, winning the sprint and winning the Grand Prix. And I think he got the fastest lap, too, in the sprint. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure he did. So it was a huge haul for him. Yeah, 4 through 8 stayed the same. George at P4 at 339, Charles P5, 288, Lewis P6, 272, Alex P7, 198, Kimi P8, 196. Yuki had the best weekend. So if you remember from the last race, there was like 4 or 5 drivers that had the same amount of points, and they were all tied for P9.
Yes.
That drastically changed this time around. They all kind of dispersed out, and out of all of them, Yuki had the best haul. So he moved up 3 positions to P9 with 173. Oliver moved up 1 to P10 at 168. Carlos dropped down 1 position to P11 at 164. Nico moved up 1 position to P12 at 164. Oh, wait, they are tied, actually. So I need to fix that later. Those two are tied. That'd be tied for 11 then. So then Isaac dropped down 4 positions to P, it would be 12. 161. Fernando moved up 1 position and is 158 points. Esteban dropped down 1 position with 156 points. And then 16 through 20 are still the same, with Liam at 148, Lance with 145, Pierre 123, Gabrielle with 118. Gabrielle is actually slowly creeping up week after week and catching up to Pierre. I really hope he catches him by the end of the season. And then Franco still holds the last place with 63 points. And then nothing changed at all in the Constructors' Championship. Everyone stayed in the same position, so McLaren still Constructors there with 709. Ferrari P2 with 560, Mercedes P3 of 535, Red Bull P4 with 511, Williams P5 362, Racing Bulls P6 with 333, Haas at P7 with 324, Aston Martin P8 with 303, and Kick with P9 with 282, and pulling up the rear is Alpine at P10 with 196.
Yeah, fuck the French.
Yes, fuck the French indeed, except for my Monegasque, which I still think is French, but that's besides the point.
He's Monegasque.
Yeah, it's all the same. It's all in the same land to me.
Wow.
It's somewhere
Not
over there.
respecting the principality. Wow.
Wow, a city state. Ooh.
We must go to war with the city states.
Yeah, Cousin Civ. But yeah, so the point system has been very exciting this past week. Just for the fact that the midfield, they just keep getting shuffled around week after week. And yeah, I'm excited to see where they all end up here after 5 more races. But I am very happy to see Yuki back on the up and in the top 10 again, because he deserves more credit than what people want to give him. And I will die on that hill.
That's true. And a little bit about Yuki. It's unfortunate because I think he might be out of a seat next year. And he's just not able to get that car hooked up.
Yep.
And it's kind of actually crazy because he went up from P18 to like P7 in the sprint race. he like really capitalized on that first lap shenanigans, and then even took Hulkenberg's wing with him and went nom 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 nom.
Yep.
And so like he had some impressive movements, and he almost killed Behrman today. But I like him.
I like a guy that wants to kill someone every once in a while. I mean, Max tried to kill George earlier in the season, and we all love him for it. So
yeah. Dude,
yeah.
if Max wins the championship by it, with also knowing the fact that he literally tried to kill George Russell in Spain,
That's gonna be crazy.
For the
It
record,
really is.
I almost said Canada again.
Oh my God, Chad, get this guy out of here. Give me someone that actually knows the races.
Get you hooked up with Pit to Podium.
Oh, there we go. But Sam, there's been a lot of movement for the midfield. Like I said, Isaac on my point system had the worst weekend, and he's a rookie. What's going on over at Rookie Watch?
Yep, you said it, Ryan. Isaac is not doing very hot in the Rookie Watch this weekend. Actually, most of the rookies did not do very well against their teammates here. I'll go ahead and start off with one of our awards, worst rookie, Hajar. He was just not there, my friend. He crashed out in Q1 of the actual race. He got nowhere in the race itself. He struggled on the struggle bus. Liam Lawson, I think, outperformed him in just about every situation.
Didn't he also get like what? Sorry to interrupt, but wasn't Hajar like getting a black and white flag within like the first 6 laps of the race today?
Yeah, that was another. Yes, you're right. He he got the track limits super early on. I think he might be, I don't know. He might be having some engine trouble issues. He had some in Singapore. Maybe there's still some gremlins in his car. Maybe the pressure's getting to him. I don't know. I have a feeling we're starting to get into contract negotiations for Red Bull, because Red Bull likes to make their decisions late in the season. George and Kimi both signed for Mercedes. Woot woot. But yeah, I think Hajar is getting closer to that Red Bull possible deal. Or even if not, it's a deal of some sort of what his future will be. And maybe that's applying to him.
Maybe he's purposefully trying to fuck up so he doesn't get moved up. You know, I can't. He's like, I can't be too good just yet. I don't want to be in that Red Bull scene anytime soon.
Keep Yuki there. I will say, Hajar. Somebody needs to work on his how he handles adversity. He was literally like hitting himself in the qualifying crash.
Was he?
Like, stupid. Yeah, he's like stupid. And he just, it's harsh. It's very harsh to see a driver do that to himself. You don't want to see it, you know? So,
yeah.
Sorry, Hajar. But you know what? We've given Hajar plenty of praise. I think it's only fair to be a little bit of criticism to him. But let's get into the other people. So there's going to be a specific name that keeps popping up that beat his teammate in both the sprint qualifying, the sprint race, and the race. And that
Wait, can I guess? Can I guess?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yes.
I didn't even hear you. Is it? Hold on. It's not Gabrielle. I know that much. I'm gonna say Behrman.
It is Behrman. Good work.
Hey, let's go! I get the gold star. Woo!
Yes. And for that reason, I'm actually going to give him Rookie of the Week. He has just been. This comes with a small caveat. Okay, he beat his teammate in all performances. Mind you, in the sprint race, Ocon did get a DNF because Stroll decided to be a harpoon to him.
Yeah,
but Behrman's made some very impressive maneuvers this weekend, and he's got himself into Q3 in both situations in a Haas, mind you, in a fucking Haas. So that's pretty fucking good. I do need to bring up that Behrman got a penalty for his, I believe it was with Yuki. It might have been with Yuki both times. He got a penalty in the sprint race for overtaking off the track. It was one of the things that it was so minute, and they gave him a 10-second penalty, and he bumbled all the way down to 15th. And because they ended on a safety car, it was a death sentence. Personally, it was a kind of a harsh penalty for him.
He's gotten a lot of harsh penalties this season, I think.
Yes. I think he didn't even know. I don't even think he knew that he was off tracks when he did that, which to me is more of a team problem. He did spin out by almost wrecking into Yuki today, but I would actually like to delve into that maybe in the future of what Yuki did there. I think some people say it was too aggressive of switching back on it. I say Behrman had no chance in hell to make the move on Yuki when he could. It was in that very harsh, like
Yeah.
double left corner kind of a thing. Like I don't think you're going on the inside at all. Albon tried it and got tagged. I think Sainz tried it and got a penalty. So he did almost like wreck into Yuki, and I was like, at that point, I was like, no safety car, no safety car. But I think Behrman, you get the rookie of the week. There's two other people I need to mention. That sprint race, Bortoletto beat Hulk. Hulk had a perfect sprint race qualifier, got into the wreck with Piastri, ruined his car. So Bortoletto beat him there. And in the race, one specific driver beat his teammate, Franco Colapinto.
He did. He did.
He went against team orders.
He did. I'm glad he did. I'm glad
I am too. That to me, that tells me he's a man who's like, I don't even know if I'm racing for you guys next year. And you want me to stay behind Gasly, who's going slow as fucking balls? No, thank you. And they raced hard. And I was like, go, Carly, go.
You can do it, sweetie.
Yeah, I was like, mad respect. So he gets a little shout out. But yeah, that's rookie watch. It's hard to keep track of all of it over all four, important sessions. But that's who we got.
You got too many damn kids to keep your head on the swivel.
I can't keep track of all of them. There's too many of them. We need
a whole minivan.
Ship some off to NASCAR or something. I don't know.
Take them to IndyCar. Fuck it.
Ugh. Well, Ryan, I had too much to drink. I need a designated driver. Who can you recommend?
Well, I can recommend to you none other than Max Verstappen. I mean, I know it's like the easiest. True. I feel like it's the easiest one to give, but honestly though, like he just had a perfect weekend. I mean, he got pole at sprint and in regular qualifying. Wow. Secured both races. I mean, it was a Sunday cruise for him today. So yeah, that's my layup pick for designated driver.
I agree, Ryan. And it's funny because I didn't even think of Max, and I think that tells you how much like he deserves it because he wasn't even on my radar. I completely forgot about him. And that's the kind of DD you want. Because I was honestly going to go for Leclerc. I thought he was ballsy. I thought he had some good stuff. I thought he strove really well. But when you said Max, I'm like, oh, that makes perfect sense. Who else would it be? Kind of a thing.
Yeah, so, I do think Charles is a good option, but I still think Max is way more deserving of it, honestly.
Yeah, it was a super solid weekend. I think he got the Grand Slam. I don't know if he got the.
He didn't get the fastest lap.
Not the fastest lap. Okay, he led every lap. He got both poles. He led every lap in the sprint race. So yeah, that's a pretty solid weekend. So yeah, congrats, Max. You can drive me home any day, baby.
Well, Sam, like you just said, you're too drunk, and we needed a designated driver. There's always one driver on the grid that is a little too tipsy. It might be a little too reckless. Might be crashing into people. I don't know. Sam, who is our drunk driver of the day?
Actually, I don't know. I might be scraping the barrel for this one. But I'm gonna go with Stroll.
Okay.
The man made it is more on a sprint race maneuver than anything. It was the most bizarre move I've ever seen. He went from all the way from the 90-yard line for a Hail Mary toss and just killed Ocon's car. Like that was a T-bone.
But Sam,
wreck
he apologized immediately to Ocon. He gave him like a little wave. Yeah.
My bad, family of four. I'll catch you at the bar.
Sorry.
Next round's on me.
Drunk.
I'm just a rich kid. Excuse me.
I'm just a chill guy. I just be drinking my beer. Sorry. That's a good one. My pick is, and it's also the sprint race too, because I think there was just a lot more action with the sprint race. Is turn one, Sam. I'm going Oscar because I still
good luck,
think,
everybody. I turn now.
Yeah, I think that was the dumbest decision he could have made in that moment was to turn the way he did, expecting there to not be anyone. Also, real fast, I do not understand how anyone in their right mind would think that Fernando and Nico would be able to back out at that moment of the turn, right?
No, yeah.
Like, But McLaren's over here saying like, "Oh, they should have just gave it up." Like, fuck no! It's turn one, you dumbasses. So yeah, my pick is Oscar.
Okay, I like it. I could you know what? Yeah, I'll give it to Oscar. Fuck the McLarens. You drunk bastards.
Anytime it's
Stop
a fuck
driving.
McLaren thing, we're like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. If it's between the two, if it's between Stroll, who I also don't like, or the McLarens.
It's really hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Well,
down with that.
Good job, Oscar. You're spending the night in the drunk tank.
Well, I think my dad's home and he sounds a little angry, Ryan. Do we
Does he
have
have
a
the
pissed
belt?
off experience? Who's our mad dad of Texas Grand Prix?
I think for this one, Sam, it's not even going to be a dad. I think it's going to be a boy, a child, if you
Okay.
will.
Yeah.
I think it's honestly Hadjar for him wailing on himself after he fucked up in Q1. Like,
Yeah.
he was also just very angry today. Like some of his radio calls, he was just his thing that he does that I love is when he just
Sad
goes,
dad.
"Oh my god, oh my god, guys, oh
Yeah.
my god." So I think out of all the drivers, he's the one that just first pops into the noggin for me. I gotta go Hadjar.
The only other one I would say is Albon. Mainly because Albon, I felt like he was driving angry. He got spun out very early on in the beginning. He was making some moves in the back, kind of getting cut off. It's more like the way he drove than anything else.
Yeah.
Not nothing over the radar, nothing the radio, nothing over like physical. It was just like he looked like he was driving mad. That's the only reason why I had maybe Albon as the mad dad.
That's a fair one. Actually,
I feel like we didn't get too much spice. We didn't.
No,
I
honestly,
didn't know
I was expecting a lot more anger from the McLaren boys at the turn one crash, but we didn't get that, and I was very
they were
surprised
kind of
about
radio
that.
silent, and yeah, I agree. We did not get what the people want, which is drama.
Maybe they just
Come on,
like
guys.
wailed on each other in like the team truck afterwards.
Yeah,
They went into one of the closets and they're like, "I'm beating the fuck out of you," and he's like, "No, I'm beating the fuck out of you." But yeah,
So I will go. You know what? Let's go with Hadjar. You know,
woo,
he's mad at himself. He's mad at
Man.
himself.
clean sweep this weekend for Rye Boy. Let's go.
Well, if I knew it was going to be a clean sweep, I would have argued harder for myself.
Well, Sam, pay attention more when we're talking about this shit. Then
I will.
That's
Next
on
time
you.
I'll keep way harder ones. Ryan, you better have some fucking tequila though for next week because we're going to Mexico. Da-da-da-da-da.
Hey!
Ryan, I know who you think is getting first. I want to know who you think is getting second for this race.
Ooh, okay. Second place. God, I would love to say Ferrari, but I don't. I think it's actually going to be George. I think George gets a P2.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay, I think I agree. I was going to say Leclerc, but you know what? I think George, I think they have a sneaky something going on with the heat. They don't even know how it's working. And I think it's a little Singapore-esque. And yeah, I think it might be George.
All right, well, tune in 1 week and we'll find out, buddy.
I can't wait.